succeed, most of the time we don't. I can tell you many failures that I had. First of all, thank you for these wonderful hosting and congratulations to the team. Today we had a complex case and I was really impressed how people reacted immediately, putting in action whatever was the best way to treat the patient. So it's really, I'm very impressed. Honestly, I'm very impressed the way these emergencies was taken care effectively. So let's go to the topic of today. I will be a little bit technical, but I hope not too much. Angioplasty, we all know, is a balloon dilate an artery which is narrow and compresses the plaque and makes the artery large again. This was invented basically by Dr. Andreas Grunzig in 1977. With a lot of advantages. Nevertheless, and I was part of the beginning of angioplasty, not really. The balloon created a fracture in the artery and the artery occluded. And that's the reason why when we were doing angioplasty in 1981-82, we always had bypass surgery readily available. And we were sending a patient with emergency bypass at least one time a week. So it was really, and when the patient went to bypass, was usually an emergency with all the consequences of emergency procedure. Then came the stent. The stent was an unbelievable innovation, but not necessarily because prevented re-narrowing, prevented restenosis. Restenosis is something bad, but it's not dramatic. The beauty of the stent is that when the artery was getting close because dissected, placing a stent immediately the artery stayed open and we could avoid emergency bypass surgery. So stent saved lives. Then we had the problem of stent thrombosis. I was contributor with many other doctors. The discoveries are always a group discovery. It's like an army. There is one leading the flag, but there is a lot of other people behind the flag. So I have to thank many other people that contributed. The stent resolved the problem of occlusion and mitigated the problem of restenosis because there was still some late narrowing around the metal. Then came drug-eluting stent. Drug-eluting stent means that the stent has on top of metal a special medication named sirolimus, limus, various brands, that prevent re-narrowing by decreasing the hyperplasia, by decreasing the scar formation around the stent. And this was a major innovation because the re-narrowing after stenting was about 30%. With these medicated stent, went down to 10%, maybe even less. And a lot of innovation, so 3 milestones: angioplasty balloon, stent made of metal, and stent with the drug. But as I said, 10% is not zero. And when you implant stents in diabetics, long stents, the number 10% becomes 20%. So we are a little bit back to the past. We solved the problem, but not completely. And what can we do? We can implant additional stents, but one stent on top of the other is not always a good idea. And the stent is always a foreign body. If it's a very short foreign body in length, it's okay. But when you implant very long stents, you convert a flexible artery like the coronary into a rigid tube, which is not what the physiology has made the artery built. So now what came into our field in the last 2 or 3 years came a balloon able to deliver the same drug that is on the stent, to deliver the drug to the wall without the need to implant a stent. So the question is, why not implanting a stent? But if we go back to the time of Andreas Grunzig, many times when you do a balloon dilatation, the result is very good, it's very nice. As a matter of fact, we used to implant stents only when we had occlusions. So if the result after balloon dilatation is good and you have the possibility to deliver a healing drug without putting a foreign body, this is an advantage, because first you simplify the procedure, second you don't put a foreign body inside the artery, and third you may even make the medication to take after the procedure more simple. So
he's a professor of cardiology. First, when there's a block in the coronary artery, the balloon port open பண்ணுவாங்க. So the rectal கொஞ்சம் பெருசாயிடும். So but blood vessels like elastic rubber band, it will just close sometimes. அது prevent பண்ணதுக்கு தான் we used to do put a stent. Stent means a spring, ஒரு பெனோட ball பெனோட spring மாதிரி. அந்த spring அங்க போட்டாச்சுனா vessel collapse ஆகாது. அது called stent. But the stent-க்கு ரொம்ப ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு. Stent இருந்தாச்சுனா there is a 5 to 10% chance that அந்த stent-க்குள்ள clot வந்துடும். Stent later மே திருப்பி block ஆயிடும். இதெல்லாம் ஸ்டென்ட் வந்து போகாம எப்படி இந்த ரெக்டகுல ரிப்பேர் பண்ண முடியும்? That is the new innovation, drug-coated balloon or medicated balloon. அதாவது ரெக்டகுல full open பண்ணி வச்சு அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த balloon போட்டு open பண்ணிடும். The balloon the balloon is coated with a drug, a healing drug, and the drug will get smeared or get painted to the vessel wall. So that திருப்பி அது block ஆகாது, அந்த த்ரோம்போசிஸ் பண்ணாது. Secondly, if you put a stent, அங்க ஒரு spring போட்டாச்சுன்னா blood vessel will dilate and contract depending upon the physiological need. Sometimes the contracted, sometimes like the rubber band. If you put a stent and the function poidum, it will be just like a PVC pipe. If you do a drug-coated balloon, அது ஆகாது, அந்த பிரச்சனை இல்லை. It will respond to our physiological needs. Secondly, stent போட்டாச்சுன்னா you have to take blood thinning medicine 1 year or sometimes lifelong. So blood thinning medicine எடுத்தோன்னா சில patient will develop bleeding and some surgery you have to stop it for 5 days. Elderly people bleeding for ulcer, a lot of things can happen. இதுக்கு short course of antiplatelet blood thinning medicine needed. 3 months, 6 months is more than enough. So இதான் இதோட advantage. ஒரு foreign body இருக்காது, அது stent related issues இருக்காது, plus the blood thinning medicine dose கம்மி பண்ணும்.
இந்த பலூன் உள்ள இருந்துட்டு இருக்குமா சார்?
இல்ல அந்த balloon அங்க போட்டு ஓபன் பண்ணிட்டு அந்த drug எல்லாம் உள்ளால போச்சுனா balloon will deflate the balloon and take it out.
Stent போட்ட பிறகு after some time vessels will reduce சொன்னார் கேப். the balloon கூட reduce ஆகாது ஃபியூச்சர்ல? இல்ல
stent balloon first ஒரு balloon போட்டு full open பண்ணுவாங்க. இந்த balloon இல்ல, full open பண்ணி விட்டதுக்கு அப்புறம் இந்த balloon. This balloon is not for opening, this balloon is to deliver the drug to the vessel wall. அதாவது எங்க இந்த மெடிசின் டெலிவர் பண்ணனும் அதோட ஒரு டூல் தான் இந்த balloon.
எல்லா ஆபரேஷன் பண்ணனுமா இல்ல only complicated பண்ணனுமா இல்ல இது பண்ணனுமா?
எல்லா வெசல்ஸ்லயும் பண்ணலாம், but only select it is not an alternative to stent. Stent பண்ணிதான் நான் சில டிசீஸ்ல சில சைட்ஸ்ல, but sometimes for example somebody had a main vessel ஒரு block plus ஒரு branchல இருக்குன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Main vessel we put a stent and branchல we put a drug-coated balloon. Secondly, sometimes the vessel, you know, the rectangular size from origin to the end is not the same. It is tapering like this. So in tapering proximal part we put the stent, distal we put a drug-coated balloon. Thirdly, in India there is a very high incidence of diabetes. Diabetic people who have diffuse disease, multiple disease, small vessels எல்லாம் அப்படிப்பட்ட person that stent, small stent போட்டாச்சுன்னா திருப்பி block ஆகிறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் ஜாஸ்தி. Some patients the drug-coated balloons are very useful.
Drug வந்து lifelong sir.
This medicine now once you open the artery there will be some injury to the vessel wall and the injury heal பண்ணதுக்கு தான் the healing drug கொடுக்குது. Once it is healed the drug will disappear after 60 to 90 days. அது போதும்.
எத்தனை வருஷத்துக்கு இருக்கும்
ட்ரக்ஸோட
இந்த ட்ரக்ஸோட பவர்
எஃபெக்ட், அந்த ட்ரக்ஸோட எஃபெக்ட் இஸ் only for 60 to 90 days. அதுக்கப்புறம் ட்ரக்ஸோட எஃபெக்ட் இருக்காது. பட் அது போயிடும். அதுக்குள்ளால ஆர்டரிஸ் ரீமாடல். ஜஸ்ட் லைக் எனக்கு கையில் ஒரு இன்ஜுரி வந்து அது ஹீல் ஆகற மாதிரி. அதுக்கப்புறம் அங்கே ட்ரெஸ் எதுவும் பண்ண தேவையில்லை. லைக் தட்.
ஸோ திருப்பி அந்த இடத்துல பிளாக் ஆகாது.
திருப்பி ஆகாது.
But doctor, do we know the exact percentage?
So, because the immediate results are going to be good for both, but the fact that you do not have a foreign body will be seen after 2 or 3 years. So that's the reason why these studies are complex, because every time you do a study you want a result immediately. You have to be patient and keep on following the patient for 3 or 4 years. So the study becomes complex, expensive, and not easy, because you cannot lose follow-up from patients, otherwise the results become not validated.
One more thing. If you put a stent, as